Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Hakodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone at Ruah, and Shalom to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved under Brother Kalab from the GMS UK London Forecasters Camp, back with another lesson to help edify those of which I spoke of. So I've got an article here from the Financial Times. It says Keir Starmer, who is currently the UK Prime Minister. Keir Starmer chooses AI security over woke safety concerns to align with Donald Trump. Now, this comes as no surprise because we've seen since President Donald Trump has re-entered into office in the United States, he's been signing executive order after executive order, and he's pushing to get the AI system up and running, because the AI system is essentially what's going to be used for the MOTB. Now, we know that America kind of serves as a an influence to the rest of the world. So the fact that DJ Trump's been going hard for this, it's no surprise that the UK Prime Minister has fallen in line with the agenda, because they're looking to get this thing popping. So let's read this article. UK government switches strategy on AI regulation in hope of better ties with new US administration. See, so they're following in suit. It says, Sir Keir Starmer is seeking to strengthen diplomatic ties with Donald Trump's administration by shifting the UK's focus on artificial intelligence towards security cooperation rather than a, quote, woke emphasis on safety concerns. Now, this also ties in with what Tony Blair's been pushing in regards to the digital ID system, because towards the end of last year, Tony Blair, who was the former Labour Prime Minister some years ago, has been popping up and doing talks on how the UK needs to embrace AI and digital technologies, and that they want to have a digital ID system. Towards the end of last year, I've done videos on this for those of you who have been following my channel. Towards the end of last year, Tony Blair was saying things along the lines of he thinks that the public will need a lot more persuasion before they're willing to give up, before they're willing to fall in line with the digital technology, the AI system, the digital IDs. But it seems that ever since Donald Trump came in office, they've changed their tune. Now they're saying that beginning in, June of this year, they're going to roll out the digital ID, where you're going to have, I think driver's licenses and another document that they're going to be putting in the digital format. And obviously that's just the start. Eventually it will expand to include all of your, identification, your driver's license, your passport, everything will become digital. And that really is tying into the MOTB system, because the MOTB system is going to be an AI, if the word to use is infrastructure, into which you're going to have to, be connected to via biometrics, because it's going to be done via biometrics, but ultimately it's going to result in people having to have that implant, which is the implantable RFID microchip, which essentially is the mark of the beast, which is prophesied in Revelation, the 13th chapter. If I get that. This is Revelation chapter 13, starting at verse 16. It says, And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So this is what the governments of the world are all working towards, and they're basically falling in line with what America's pushing. So let's finish this article out. It says Tech Secretary Peter Carl announced on Friday that the UK's AI Safety Institute, established just 15 months ago, see they're pushing quick with this thing, would be renamed the AI Security Institute. The body, which was given 50 million, is that 50 million? I think it's 50 million budget, will no longer focus on risks associated with bias and freedom of speech, but on advancing our understanding of the most serious risks posed by the technology. Earlier this week, the UK joined the United States at the AI Summit in Paris in refusing to sign a joint communique approved by around 60 states, including France, Germany, India, and China, that pledged to ensure AI is open, inclusive, transparent, ethical, safe, secure, and trustworthy. Officials said the recent moves on AI were part of a broader strategy at a time the Trump administration engages in a trade war against China and the EU. Some believe aligning US priorities over AI could help the UK avoid being targeted in other areas. At the AI Summit in Paris this week, the United States Vice President J.D. Vance warned against excessive AI regulation and said the country would build systems free from ideological bias. Meanwhile, Trump confidant Elon Musk said at an event in Dubai on Thursday he was concerned that if hypothetically AI is designed to think DEI at all costs, it could think too many men are in power and just execute them. The UK new ambassador to the US, Peter Mandelson, said his signature policy would be fostering collaboration between the two countries' tech sectors to ensure both countries could secure a logical advantage over China. It would be disastrous if we in the West lost the advanced technology race to China and China were to gain a technological stranglehold, said Mandelson, adding that the backbone of the special relationship between the US and the UK lies in its defence, intelligence and security partnerships. Britain's decision to move closer to the US on AI has been criticised by tech experts and civil security groups, who argue the UK is overestimating what it has to offer while isolating itself from European allies on tech regulation. The United States is engaged in AI imperialism, said Herman Narula, chief executive of UK-based AI company Improbable. The thing that is of greatest interest to them is access to our market. What else do they need us for? For the UK to present an attractive proposition, the US will need to make serious concessions on what it can offer, including lax of rules around the imports used to train AI models and a less stringent approach to GDPR, said Narula. At this AI summit, people briefed on the US decision not to sign the joint communique said it did not make a clear enough distinction between use of the technology and democratic and authoritarian regimes, forgive me, I had a trouble with that word, authoritarian regimes, and pointed to the fact that China was a signatory. One Labour MP described the UK's decision not to sign the declaration as a low-cost way to send a clear geopolitical signal, adding that they believed it was exactly the right move. People close to the UK's decision argued the move had never been hacked. Forgive me, my eyes are playing up. Read this again. People close to the UK's decision argued the move had been over-interpreted, arguing that it was more the result of limited efforts of the French hosts of the summit made to secure signatories. The UK government said the declaration didn't provide enough practical clarity on global governance nor sufficiently address harder questions around the national security and the challenge AI poses to it, a critical focus for the UK. Just a bit more of this article to go. When the AI Safety Institute was first launched last year, the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said it would explore all the risks from social harms like bias and misinformation to the most unlikely but extreme risks such as humanity losing control of AI completely. Since then, Starmer has so far held off publishing its AI safety bill pending greater clarity from the US government of its priorities, according to people briefed on the matter. The law would theoretically turn voluntary agreements on pre-market testing of models by the AISI with companies including Meta, Amazon, and OpenAI into legally binding obligations. Gregory C. Allen, the director of Wadhwani AI Center in the Center for Strategic International Studies, said that safety is associated with censorship on social media platforms because it's the safety teams of some of these platforms that were responsible for the decision to remove Donald Trump from major platforms. Yeah, I'm just skim reading the rest of this because I think I've kind of made the point. Let me read this part. Jacoby Mokanda, Director of Science and Tech Policy at the Tony Blair, sees up in this again. Tony Blair Institute said the UK ASI was the best funded in the world. So if the US continued to collaborate with the UK, it would continue to have an AI Safety Institute, but send all of its models to the UK for testing. Yeah, so they're working hand in hand to accomplish this thing, which makes perfect sense because, all roads lead to the MOTB. Lord Peter Ricketts, former UK National Security Advisor and Permanent Secretary at the Foreign Office, expressed skepticism that pursuing collaboration on AI would be a fruitful strand of diplomacy. Just one more paragraph. The US AI ecosystem is so vast that any UK contribution could only make a marginal contribution, and part of that would be our convening power. He said, if we align with the US and put ourselves at odds with the EU, that will surely weaken our ability to convene and possibly damage the reset with the UK, with the EU, the European Union. But yeah, it looks like the UK is aligning with the US to push this AI technology out there because they need this infrastructure up and running in order to get the chip up and running. So all, as I said before, all roads lead to the MOTB. And, Donald Trump is working overtime to get this thing done, because in his last presidential run, he did promise that he would complete the biometric, the AI biometric entry-exit visa system, which would be on land, on sea, and on air. So no matter where you go, what you do, you're always going to be, under that system. As I said, we all know that system is part of the MOTB infrastructure. So, we've got to keep our eyes and our ears open and alert to what's going on, because Satan's moving quick, this thing. We've prophesied about this thing for many years. Now we're beginning to see it come into fruition. So, we've got to stay up spiritually. So, Lord willing, that was edifying, quick bit of news. Got to keep our eyes on what's going on, because the devil is going to be coming down with great wrath in order to get this system done, because he knows that if he doesn't do this, he's going to lose his empire. So this is Esau's last ditch attempt at securing his empire and his rulership, which he's not going to be successful with, because the book of Job chapter 14 and verse 5 says this: seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Read that again. Job 14 and 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So the Most High has made Esau for a time and a purpose and a season. And Esau's season is almost at an end. His rulership is almost at an end, because he only has a certain allotted period of time to do what he's doing. So we can see through the prophecies that his time is almost at an end, and it's almost time for the nation of Israel to rise. Because I'll close out on one last scripture, 2 Ezra 6 and 9. It says this. I'll read up from verse 7. Then answered I, 2 Ezra 6 and verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So that's the time we're in. We're at the end of Esau's world, and we're coming towards the time of the beginning of Jacob's rulership, which will be an everlasting rulership, which will essentially be the kingdom of heaven on earth for us Israelites. So Lord willing, that's been an edifying little quick hit. So with that, giving all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Shalom to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. And I will catch you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom for now.